Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. Today we have no camera because it is the middle of the night, everyone is sleeping, and I'm waiting for the call to go plow snow. Yay, wintertime in Michigan. So another thing is we were supposed to be doing the Human Empire this week, but my printer has decided to not cooperate, so we're going to change it up a little bit. And I'll tell you who we're doing right after this word from our sponsors. Fleet Admirals, Generals, your reinforcements have arrived. At PrintedStarships.com, you will find high-quality 3D printed starships and sci-fi armies ready for deployment. Whether you're commanding fleets in Star Wars Armada, dogfighting in X-Wing, battling in one-page rules war fleets, or leading ground forces in grimdark future, we've got the precision-crafted models you need to seize victory. Use code warbossfitz for 15% off your order. That's PrintedStarships.com. Prepare to take command of the tabletop. Staying in the world of fantasy, we are doing the Fantasy Ratmen. Now, I've talked about the grimdark future equivalent over on True Seeing Gaming. These guys are another up-and-coming one-page rules channel. Go over and check them out so you can hear my wonderful thoughts about Ratmen in the far future. But today, we're doing the fantasy equivalent. Let's go down here to the list. Now, there's the background. We don't do the background. We do that for other people that do background stuff. Army-wide special rule. Scurry. Moves +2 when using advance and +2 when rushing and charging. Now, this means that your little rat boy is going to be moving a little bit faster, and the fun thing that it does, this +2-inch movement when you charge or rush, that kind of defeats all of the repel ambusher stuff. So even if somebody has that and you drop down, you are going to be able to make that charge. It allows you to play with some charge distance shenanigans, and your army just will generally be faster. And that's always great. Now let's look at the special rules. Let's look at a few of them here. First, we have the defense debuff, -1 to somebody within 18 inches. Always good. And here we go. This is in the Grimdark Future version. Guess what? It's in the fantasy version as well. Hazardous weapons get AP4, but if this model unit takes 1 wound on an unmodified roll of a 1 to hit, it's dangerous to you. But by God, is it worth it? That's all there is to say about this. Hazardous might be the greatest special rule in one-page rules at the moment because it's just so good. We'll talk about that more when we get to the units. Next, we have heavy impact. Impact hits get AP1. There are some units where this is going to be really good on. Quick readjustment. This model ignores penalties from shooting after moving when using indirect weapons. So I'll give you a little hint. This and this are going to come into play in a little bit. And here's another cool one they have. Reinforcement. When a unit where all models have this rule is shaken or fully destroyed. So it doesn't even have to be killed all the way. All you have to do is get shaken. You may remove it from the table as destroyed and place a new copy of it fully within 12 inches of any table edge at the beginning of the next round after ambushers have been deployed. Units that deploy via reinforcement can't seize or contest objectives on the round they deploy, and this rule doesn't apply to a new copy of the unit. So you get one do-over with your reinforced units. And this caveat here of them deploying after ambushers is real nice, because they could be a anti or a counter ambush. Someone decides to drop down like on your side of the board, you could just sneak up behind them. If they're within 12 inches of the board edge, you'd be like, hi, how you doing? We'll see what units can take advantage of that a little bit later. And then we have repel ambushers. We already talked about that. It's where you repel ambushers back 12 inches away from the unit. Resistance, you get an extra save of a 6 or a 2 if it's a spell in case you fail a defense roll. Shielded +1 to your defense rolls. Spell conduit, this one is rather interesting. If they're within 12 inches of a friendly caster, they can use this model as like acting where they're standing. Pretty much you use the line of sight and stuff for your spell conduit model, plus you get +1 to the roll. Takedown strike, Once per game, you get an attack that hits on a 2 with AP 2 and Deadly 3, choosing who the person is in the squad that takes it to the face. And the Unpredictable Fighter, before you fight, you roll a dice, and on a 1 to 3, you get AP plus 1, and on a 4 to 6, you get plus 1 to hit instead. So there's some rather interesting special rules here. Again, this one, oh my god. All right, Aura special rules. Ambush Aura. This model and its unit can ambush. So that's always a good thing, just to have the ability to ambush one of the units. Just a massive utility buff there. Bane when shooting. This model and its unit get Bane. This one, I think it's more for the anti-regeneration. This could be really good. Counterattack Aura. This model and its unit gets Counterattack. This one here is the bullshit rule. Evasive Aura. This model's unit gets evasive. That's -1 to hit, where all models have this rule, and with the aura, they all are going to have the rule. Increased shooting range aura, plus 6-inch range when shooting, so you can reach out and touch some stuff. Precision fighter aura, +1 to hit in melee. Now, you are a bunch of rats. I think the best you're going to find in this army is a 4, so if you could push that to a 3, great. Scurry boost aura to push that from a 2-2 to a 4-4 for extra movement. And the stealth aura, this model and its unit get stealth, which is -1 to hit when they get shot at from over 9 inches away. So next we have the spells. Magic Skitter Step 1. Pick one friendly unit within 12, which gets the Scurry boost. That's really good to have a movement spell as a single power spell, or a power 1 spell. Because you never know when you're going to have just you need to make 2 extra inches, and don't we all have that problem? And being able to get that with 1 spell power is great. Heavenly Strike. Pick 2 enemy units in 12. They take 1 hit with AP 2. That's pretty nifty. 1 power spell. Godmother's Frenzy. Pick 2 friendly units in 12, which get Melee Slayer the next time they fight. And AP +2 against something where most models have toughness 3 or higher. You can get a lot of stuff in this army that is like a lot of attacks that are crap. And if you could bump those up to AP2 against stuff, this could be taking out monsters. Interesting. Choking Sensor Fog. Pick 1 enemy within 12, which takes 6 hits. Okay, pretty good for a 2. Cracking Bell Chime. Pick up to 3 enemy units within 18. They each get -1 to defense rolls. This, coupled with this, could do some extreme damage. Now, it's going to take 5 powers to even get that off, and a little bit of luck on the dice. But this army is centered around luck. You roll good, and you are going to be cackling. And then Lightning Blast 3. Pick 1 enemy model within 12. They take 6 hits with Hazardous. Roll as many dice as hits to see if roll on a 1 triggers. So if you roll a 1, somebody in your unit gets their head exploded. Honestly, that's a pretty good trade-off because life in the Ratmen is cheap. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the army builder, and we'll take a look at some of the units. Well, all the units. So your heroes come in 2 flavors. The first one is Battlemaster, 45 points. It's 4/4, Fearless, Hero, Scurry, and Toughness 3. Fearless is nice. It gets you a do-over for morale tests on a 4+, but everyone in the squad has to have it. So some units, you're going to kind of waste that Fearless, but it'll be fine. 3 attacks in AP1. 3 attacks, AP1 in close combat. And options. We have the Takedown Strike, Stealth Aura, Precision Fighter, Ambush, and Fear of 3. For figuring out who won Melee to see who has to take the morale test, Fear of 3 is a giant boost. And then we'll talk about the rest of these as we go through the different units. Well, Takedown Strike, it's a single thing. It's for this guy. If you want to have like a sneaky assassin Battlemaster, yeah, absolutely Takedown Strike. There's more options at the bottom that go with it. So then we have replacing our heavy hand weapon with a spear for counter, heavy hand weapon for more attacks AP1, a halberd for rending, or a heavy great weapon for AP3. Now what I like to do is I like to match up what my characters are running with the units they're with, just to get synergy with that. And here we have other upgrades to, again, kind of melt it into the rest of the army in whatever unit it goes into. Scoutmaster, or Scout, Stealth, and Strider. War Beast for 3 attacks, fast and toughness +3, making him toughness 6. A Rat Ogre for 3 attacks, AP1, Furious, and another +3 toughness. A War Throne, giving him 4 attacks, AP1 with Rending. A Defense debuff, this is where he takes one enemy and says your defense -1, and another toughness 3. Or a Great Beast, 6 attacks, bumps his armor up to 3, fast, fear, strider, and toughness 6. And then you can get him a giant pet rat for repel ambushers. Now, because I said it was an option, let's see. If you want to take the assassin version, you just click on assassin for takedown strike. And then I would definitely go for Scoutmaster to give him Scout, Stealth, and Strider to just, better operate on his own. And this is where I would go for a heavy, great weapon, just to make sure that whatever he attacks and gets in there, he's going to be able to do some damage, even through some armor. The takedown strike is cool for taking out enemy characters. I mean, nothing real beefy. Like if it's a tough 6 character in a unit, the assassin's not going to be able to get him. We'll knock him down to half, but won't be able to take him all the way down. This is going to be for, your on-foot heroes. Now let's look at our second flavor of hero, which is just the champion. It's a 5/5 for 25 points. Hero, Scurry, and Toughness 3 with 3 attacks with a hand weapon with no AP. Now the upgrades are a little different. We have the Scurry Boost Aura, Stealth Aura, Ambush Aura, Caster 2, Bane when shooting, and Caster 3. So if you want a magical power, the champion is where you're going to find it. You replace the hand weapon with a spear for counter, 4 attacks from dual hand weapons, Rending from a halberd, Bane from a censer flail, and AP2 from a great weapon. You upgrade it with Toxin Pistols, 2 shots, 9 inches with Bane, an overtuned carbine, 1 shot at 18 with Hazardous. There's our first hazardous stuff here. An overtuned pistol, 2 shots at 12 with Hazardous. Toxin Carbine, 2 shots at 18 with Bane. An overtuned rocket launcher, 1 shot blast, 3 hazardous and indirect. Ooh, I like that profile. AP4 blast 3 with indirect, so you can be hiding inside of like a ruined building and just be dropping AP4 bombs on people. An overtuned sniper rifle for hazardous, reliable, and takedown. Now this is really nice. For taking out like banners, musicians, sergeants. It's not going to really take out a character because it's only 1 shot, but taking out those buffing people in the unit's really good. Or just a regular sniper rifle, 30 inches, AP1 reliable with takedown. It's got 12-inch more range, but this hazardous makes the overtuned sniper rifle better in every way. And you can also give it a pet giant rat. So this is going to be our buff master when it's going into units. So we'll talk more about it when we build some units. First unit is the Militia. 10 of them for 50 points. They are a 6/6. These guys are crap, and they have Scurry. They have slings for 1 attack at 12 inches and 1 attack with hand weapons, and the only upgrade you can give them is reinforcement. And it's half the points of the units because essentially you're getting 2 of them. Now with the Militia, because it has reinforcement, if it does run away or whatever, and it has a character attached, the character doesn't come back. It's just the squad. So what I see the Militia as is just absolute throwaway units. Click this button, run them at the enemy, run forward, throw your slings, get into combat, just be a pain in the butt. And it's such a double-edged sword to even attack them, because as soon as they fail a morale test and become stunned with a quality 6, it's pretty much going to be the first time they have to do it. You just remove them from the board and then bring them in 12 inches on the enemy's board edge and threaten all their backline stuff. Militia are cheap enough. I mean, just run 2 of these. There you go, 150 points to give you essentially 4 units worth of. They're crap, but they're going to be crap that just respawns. Next unit we have is the Warriors. 10 of them for 70 points, quality 5, defense 5, and scurry with 1 attack with hand weapons. Now, these do not have a reinforcement option because these can actually be pretty decent, or at least tooled up in a way to make them decent. You can replace all the hand weapons with a halberd for bending or a spear for counter, and you can replace one hand weapon with these beautiful, beautiful weapon teams. Let's see, we have drills for better close combat, flamethrowers for reliable blast, Gatling guns for multi-shot, death rollers for more melee stuff, overtuned Gatling guns, 4 shots with hazardous, which again is better in every way than this regular Gatling cannon. I don't. Oh, why are the point values the same? This is an overtuned Gatling gun with 9 ablative wounds. And you also have the option for a toxin mortar for 1 shot at 24, Bane, Blast 3, and Indirect. And then we have the command upgrades the first time we see them, and so I'll go over them here, but just remember this is something you can do later on. A Sergeant, where you take 1 model in the unit and pretty much you give them ferocious. If they get a 6 to hit, they get an extra hit. It's only for the 1 model. Then you have a Banner, which gives you +1 to your morale tests, and a Musician, which gives the unit +1 to movement. Now, something interesting with the Sergeant having the ferocious, it doesn't say who it has to update or upgrade. So you could be like Sergeant, and my Sergeant is going to be my flamethrower. So if your flamethrower fires and you hit with a 6, now you have 2. You can do the same thing with the weapon team drill or the toxin mortar. Any of the one-shot ones would probably be better to do that with. I mean, you could do it for the overtuned Gatling gun, but it would just be like, oh wait, no. Oh no, 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 no. It's all 4 shots. Oh. Oh, you guys are seeing me have my brain neurons connect in real time. So if your Sergeant is the overtuned Gatling gun, on 1s, yes, somebody in the squad dies. But on a 6, it's extra hits. Why wouldn't you? It's only 110 points. There's probably better uses for the Warrior squad. Probably would be, take off the Sergeant, put a Banner on there, give them spears, and they're going to be a picket line for all of your other stuff that we will be getting to in just a moment. Guess what? That moment is here. Hello, weapon teams. 105 points for 3 of them. They're a 5-5 with scurry and toughness 3. They come 3 attacks for the squad, 1 attack apiece, and they all come with heavy drills for 1 attack at AP4, deadly 3. But let's move down here. Let's ignore everything else. Just see these, all this, go on. 5 points for overtuned Gatling guns. 5 points. 5 little points. Now what you have, 12 shots at 18 inches, AP4. Your toughness 3, so if you roll a 1, not that big a deal. You need to roll 3 1s before you lose a gun. 120 points. Yes, this. Now you've got 24 shots. Now let's see, what could we do? Champion. Put a champion in there too. Let's juice these. We could do stealth aura. If someone wants to shoot back with like a bowman, -1 to hit. Bane when shooting to remove regeneration. Oh, it's AP4, so they're going to be saving on a 6. With Bane, they have to re-roll that 6, and they don't get any regeneration. That's 305 points at this point, but oh, that's dirty. And then even better, what do we got down here? There we go. A blast hazardous indirect launcher that's the same range as the Gatling guns. So if you're firing into a troop squad, everybody shoots at them. If you're firing into a large creature, the Gatling guns fire into that, and then the champion fires its rocket off into something with 3 models in it. This is just, oh, this one has the warbossfitz seal of approval. Glorious. Oh, okay. I gotta move on because it's just all the dumb ideas are right there. Next, we have Grenadiers. 85 points for 5 of them. They are 5-5 with quick readjustment and scurry, and the reason they have quick readjustment is they have toxin bombs, 2 attacks at 12 inches with Bane indirect. So they don't suffer the -1 to hit with indirect because quick readjustment, they just don't. And then they have the option for a firebomb for AP1 or overtuned bombs for hazardous and indirect. Yeah, click that button. I don't know in what world AP1 versus AP4. I just 5 points. Yes, please. And for this, combine that unit to 10. Take a champion. Attach it to the unit. Give them the ambush aura. Welcome to turn 2. You're going to pop up and hand somebody 20 shots at AP4. The champion can, oh, good lord. 2 shots with a pistol at that range. Just, yeah. 235. We're looking at 22 shots with hazardous. They're only hitting on a 5, which, like I said, if you roll hot with this army, you are just going to be sitting there giggling as everything burns around you. Yeah. Next, we come to monks. 65 points for 5, quality 5, defense 5, furious and scurry. Furious is if they charge and they roll a 6 to hit, it's an extra hit. And they have a 1 attack apiece at AP1 with Bane. So they, furious, ignore regen, reroll your 6s. AP1, not bad. You can give them dual hand weapons for more attacks with furious. This hopefully will stack. And then you can do the sergeant, banner, or musician. Yeah, I'd switch out to dual hand weapons. And then maybe a champion with his own sensor flail. No, wait, dual hand weapons. What am I doing? A scurry boost to make him fast. Why not? And then we combine the unit for 175. You got a unit that is furious, and you're going to be getting 24 attacks out of it. And it's going to be moving pretty fast. It's going to be, moving like it has fast. It's got a 16-inch charge on it. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Or in case you just want to keep them, the normal speed of scurry, just do precision fighter, 195. Now these guys hit on a 4 and he hits on a 3. Give him the dual hand weapons or dual heavy hand weapons. There you go. 200 points even. It's not a bad squad. Then we have Storm Veterans. We have Veteran Rats. 80 points for 5 of them. They are a 4/4 with Fearless and Scurry. So this is where your Battle Master with Fearless will interact with these. So this squad becomes Fearless. Or at least keeps its Fearless. So they have 1 attack, AP1 with Rending, or Heavy Great Weapons for 1 attack at AP3. And then we got the Sergeant, Banner, Musician. Now, before, I wasn't really keen on the banner because, going from a 5 to a 4 for morale, it doesn't feel good. But from going from a 4 to a 3 with Fearless on top of it, now this unit is going to be very hard to shift. And for that, I would get rid of the Heavy Halberds. I would go for the Heavy Great Weapons just to give them more punch. And with the Battle Master, we can get them down to hitting on a 3. Give him a Heavy Great Weapon. So now we got 13 attacks, hitting on a 3. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. You can tell I'm definitely liking the hazardous weapons more than melee. But the melee stuff, it stacks up. No, I mean, it does a good comparison. Like this versus other melee infantry, this is going to be a really good unit. Then we have Night Scouts. 5 of them for 85 points. They're a 4/5 with Scout, Scurry, Stealth, and Strider. They come with 2 hand weapons for 2 attacks. And then we can replace those with a hand weapon and a bow for a 24-inch shot. And on top of that, we can give them all throwing knives, which are 1 attack apiece with reliable, hitting on a 2. And then we can give them all evasive, -1 to hit. Okay, well, the upgrades here, they start to kind of stack up. And being a 4/5, Scout, Scurry, Stealth, Strider, this is going to be what I would call like a missile unit. Not missile as in ranged unit, missile as in you fire them off at the enemy and you kind of let them do what they do, and you don't anticipate they're going to come back. And with that in mind, I would keep them cheap with the dual hand weapons. Now with Scout and Scurry, if someone put their unit like directly on the line, These guys could counter deploy but scout and be right in front of them, and they're going to get there because they have a 14-inch charge. And with Strider, it doesn't matter if there's terrain in the way unless it's impassable. So for that, if a 5-man unit would be pretty good to throw at something to take to make them fatigued before other things start doing damage to them. Or if you combine them for 170, this is something that you can't not pay attention to. 20 attacks out of 4 immediately. Let's see here. We can attach a Battlemaster if we want to put more points into this. We can attach a Battlemaster. Ooh, I had an idea. Make him a Scoutmaster. Give him some dual heavy hand weapons. And then Fear. And what this does is that it guarantees you're going to win that combat. Or it all but guarantees. I'm not saying charge into like an Ascendant War Demon or anything like that. But a normal squad. That's going to make sure that you win the combat and force your enemy to take a morale test on something opening activation of turn 1. That has the potential to either solve a problem before it becomes a problem, open up lines of sight for your shooting guys, or, if the enemy, there's always going to be a weaker flank in the enemy army. And you're going to be able to see which one it is because you have scouts and you're going to deploy last. If you hit the enemy on the extreme flank and wipe a unit out there, they're going to have to turn probably 2 units to come and take care of you, or at least tie them up over in their own deployment zone for turn 1. Now, is that worth 265? Depending on the opponent, it might be. It's a pretty interesting concept. Next unit we have is Snipers. 110 points for 5.5 with Scurry. They have overtuned sniper rifles for AP4. Yeah. And they have 1 attack apiece in close combat. You can replace all the overtuned sniper rifles with a regular sniper rifle for 5. Why? No, don't ever do this. Ignore that. Upgrade all the models with a Pavash shield for shielded and slow. This isn't a terrible idea. I mean, you're going from a 5 to a 4. You're only 1 wound apiece. It's free. Why not? Pretty much your snipers, the first time you shoot with these, they're going to become a big old target. No, why not? Then you could do a spotter rat for a defense debuff for somebody with an 18 to have -1 defense. Now, it's not going to really work against what you're shooting at because, I mean, you're already AP4. You can put that on something else to have someone else in your army, get that advantage. But snipers, these are going to be used to take out heroes, just hands down. I would, there you go. 2 up to hit AP4. Now you can even take out some of the beefier heroes with a single volley. I know the math says you're going to get 1 miss out of 6 shots, but you're a rat, man. Those odds, take those odds. I wouldn't worry about putting a character with this, but I mean, you could take a champion with a overtuned sniper rifle himself just to match up with the rest of the squad, and maybe an ambush aura to pop up where they don't expect you to on turn 2, or just a stealth aura, because like I said, you're going to become a big old target after you do your opening volley with these. The enemy's going to go, oh dear mother of God, kill it. Yeah, now I think about it, the stealth aura is definitely what I would do. Yeah, 290 points. I mean, some characters can be like 200 plus points on their own. And then if you have no heroes to fire at, just start taking pot shots at whatever's coming your direction. Next, we have Rat Swarms, the mandatory swarm in Age of Fantasy. 70 points for 3 of them. They're a 5/6, Scurry, Strider, and Toughness 3, and they have 4 attack speeds in close combat. They do have the reinforcement option for 35 points against half the points of the starting unit. You can give them Scout and Unpredictable Fighter. And reinforcement is an absolute copy of whatever you put on them. So if you give them Unpredictable Fighter, they're going to come back with Unpredictable Fighter. But at this point, you got 3 bases for 120 points. you're paying 10 points per attack at quality 5. I don't know, Walter. In my personal opinion, I would not do any of this. Rat swarms are they're speed bumps, they're buffers, they're bricks of toughness the enemy has to chew through to get to places you don't want them to. And with Strider, you can use these guys for late game objective snatching. And with Scurry, they're going to be able to go 14 inches. So either one of those options are great for 70 base points. Then we have 10 giant rats, 90 points for a 5/5 fast, scurry, and strider with 1 attack apiece. These guys are your chaff unit. You have the option for reinforcement and scout and unpredictable fighter. So these, again, this is another like missile unit. Juice it up, 180 points, give them scout. These are going to run directly at the enemy. They're probably not going to do much except for tie somebody up on their side of the board. Reinforcement, at this point, that would be another 90 points. Maybe might be worth it. Running on turn 1, smash into something, get smashed in return, come back on turn number 2. Back there to chew on all their artillery and stuff. Also, if you just wanted to use them as a blade of wounds for like a caster, you could just do like 5 or 10 of them and put down a champion with caster 3. And all of a sudden, this is 13 wounds you got to do before you could take that caster off the board. Or it's 11 wounds before you have to start doing morale tests. Oh, there are units of 20. Oh, good lord. That just made the recycling missile better. That's a whole lot of board space that these guys are going to pick up too. They could be a wall. They could be an absolute wall. Charge into something and then the enemy is stuck dealing with these. Unless they have flying and all that, but that's another idea with them. Now we get to some bigger boys. We got rat ogres. 145 points for 3 of them. They're a 4/4 with Furious, Scurry, and Toughness 3, and they all have Rending Claws for 3 attacks apiece with Rending. You can switch out the Rending Claws for a great weapon for 3 attacks at AP2, and you can give one of them a Flamer mod for a Blast 3 limited reliable shot. You can give them all Scout and Unpredictable Fighter. Now, Rat Ogres kind of play second fiddle to the squad we're going to talk about next, but for a big, beefy aggression squad, this is not bad. Not bad at all. What I would do is I would get rid of the rending and put on the AP2. Just to give them more ass to them. Then we do Battle Master. And we can kind of turn the Battle Master himself into a Rat Ogre. And then give him a heavy great weapon. So there we go. 280 points is actually pretty cheap for this. 280 points. Yeah. 9 attacks at AP2, 3 attacks at AP3, 3 attacks at AP1. I didn't even give him an update yet, upgrade. Precision Fighter or Ambush would be good here. Something to pop up in the back and go, hello. All the other things we've had ambush have been kind of like piddly. You know, we're going to take out lighter units. These are going to be taking out larger units. 300 points. Would it be worth it to turn that to a 465? A lot of angry rats showing up. Maybe. Let's go look at the better ogres. Storm ogres. 220 points for 3 of them. There are 3/3. Fearless, Furious, Scurry, and Toughness 3. Come with Flame Fists for Blast 3 and Reliable at 12, and 2 attacks apiece. Now, we can replace the Flame Fists with a Drill Fist for Deadly Melee, a Shock Fist for Rending Melee, Gatling Fist for 4 shots at AP1, an Overtuned Gatling Fist for Hazardous, 4 shots with Hazardous, a Mortar Fist for Bane Indirect with Blast, or a Roller Fist, 4 attacks AP2 with Thrust. Now, before I get to the obvious gorilla in the room, let's take a look real quick at the roller fists. So if you take a roller fist, 4 attacks, AP2 with thrust, +1 to hit and +1 AP. So it becomes, if these guys charge, they're going to be hitting on a 2 with AP3. Not bad at all. Let's build on that. It becomes 340 points, so we're real expensive at this point. And then looking at the characters here, there's really nothing that will help him out. There's no like Bane in melee. So at this point, 340 points, they are self-contained, just beat down in melee units. 12 attacks, hitting on a 2 with AP 3. Nothing to sneeze at, but for half the cost, we have overturned Gatling Fists. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've already spoke hazardous to death. Here we get 12 shots with this. It's the same as the weapon teams, except these hit on a 3. And we could do the same thing we did before. We could do a champion in there. We can give them Bane when shooting, so they have to re-roll their 6s, and it ignores regeneration. 345 points. I think that's a pretty good deal on this for 12 shots on a 3 that are, if they hit, they are going to kill whatever they hit. And then they're toughness 3, so I don't really care that much about the hazardous. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, I got nothing. Now we're into the light vehicles and small monsters. We're going to start off with a Blessed Platform. 125 points, quality 4, defense 3, fear of 1, fearless, furious, scurry, and toughness 6. 2 attacks with a crew, and then 2 attacks with Bane and blast of 3. So as the base unit, it's 125 points. Its attacks are kind of crap, but that's what we can do here with the upgrades. We can give it a 2-shot blast of 3 unstoppable great bell, doing some sonic weapon action, and it retains its 2 crew attacks. We can switch it over to 6 attacks with its crew, and we can have a holy statue giving out precision fighter buffs to 1 unit within 12. Or we can go total beat stick, put a red ogre champion on there, 6 attacks AP2 with its 2 crew attacks. Now this is all depending on what you want to do. Even if you do the full beat stick, it's only 150 points. I mean, it's standard speed, which for you is charge of 14. 150 points for defense 3, toughness 6, with 8 attacks overall. That's not bad. Not bad at all. After looking at tanks and Grimdark Future and coming over to fantasy and seeing stuff like this, I'm like, oh man, that is so cheap. I love it. Or you can switch it over to the Holy Statue, which gives it the precision fighter buff to buff up 1 unit. But that's only a melee. It's not going to help the rat gun line I can already see you imagining in your head. Next unit we have is the Great Death Roller. 135 points, quality 5, defense 3, with fast, fear of 1, fearless, impact 3, scurry, and toughness 6. Comes with a twin Gatling gun for 6 shots at AP 1. Now we can replace the twin Gatling gun with an overtuned Gatling gun for 5 points. Yes, please. That's if you want to keep the gun on there. You can also have the option for a flamethrower for 5 more points over top of the overtuned Gatling gun. Not a bad choice, depending on what you're fighting against. Blast 3 with AP nothing in Age of Fantasy is nothing to sneeze at. Or you can go full Mad Max with it and do a bladed wheel, which gives you heavy impact and 5 more impact hits, making this thing 8 impacts. They hit on a 2 when it charges. Oh, and you're fast with scurry, so you charge 18 inches. And those are all at AP 1. Now, if you get charged back, you can't fight, but meh. 145 points. Ooh, you can even, if you wanted to, put the defense debuff on there to pretty much make this thing, AP2, -1 from the defense debuff, and minus another one from a heavy impact. 185? That's a little bit more pricey, but imagine if you charge this into a unit of knights. Hitting on a 2, AP2, you're going to kill quite a few of them. And they're not going to get their impacts or get their thrust bonuses on their attacks. This thing is just, it's like a whirling dervish of death. The enemy's going to try to avoid it, but it's fast enough, they're not going to be able to. And I love how the defense debuff matches up just perfectly with your charge range. Almost like it was designed that way. Next, into the bigger monsters and vehicles. We only got one. It's a giant beast. 245 points, quality 4, defense 3, fear of 2, regeneration, scurry, and toughness 12. Comes with 10 attacks, AP nothing, and 4 attacks, AP 1. Whole lot of attacks, no AP. This thing is meant to go run over chaff units. You can give an unpredictable fighter to possibly give you an extra AP on the attacks. 270 points for a 50-50. You're going to hit on a 3, or it's AP 1. Now, this would be a pretty good line breaker unit. Like if the enemy's got a bunch of spears pointed at you, just charge into the spears. Your defense 3. You should be fine. 12 toughness, you'll live. And you will probably do more damage to them than they do to you. And then you got fear 2. You'll make them. You'll force a morale test on that. Are there better units for 270 points? I think we've seen a few that I would take over top of this. They could probably do things from range and a lot more AP, but yeah. Now we're into Ratmen Artillery. 55 points for a 5-5. Has artillery, so when it shoots at something over 9 inches away, it gets +1 to hit, and they have -2 to hit you, and its toughness 3. Comes with an overtuned cannon. Look at this, one-shot deadly 6 with hazardous. So it's one-shot AP 4 at 24 inches. I like it. Let's see here. We have a heavy Gatling gun for 6 shots at AP 1. A heavy overtuned Gatling gun for 6 shots with hazardous. Yes, please. We have a heavy cannon for 2 shots AP 2 deadly 3, or a toxin catapult 2 shots bane blast 3 and indirect with a defense debuff. Yeah, out of everything here, I would choose the Gatling gun, or if I was fighting against some bigger stuff, I mean, the overtuned cannon, 55 points. If I was fighting against a giant player, I'd take 3. Absolutely, there's no reason not to. In bigger games, in 2,000 points, you're only allowed to take a copy of 3. In bigger games, take as many as you can. It's so cheap, and it's such a deadly gun. Giants, heroes on griffins, dragons, enemy titans. Yeah. Boom, 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 pow, bang, pow. It's going to look like, freaking the enemy's charging the trenches in 1917. Just wow. That's enough gushing over artillery. This is the one army I'm like, yes, artillery. Let's see. We have Titans up next, starting off at 635. We have the giant blessed beast that's just small enough to come in at 2,000 points. Max is 700. It has Caster 2, Fear 3, Fearless, Scout, Scurry, Spell Conduit, Strider, and Toughness 18. So before we even look at the attacks, it's got Scout. It's going to start up in somebody's face. With Scurry, it can do a turn 1 charge if someone's on the line. Let's see here. 12 attacks AP 1, 6 attacks AP 2. Not bad at all. We've got all of our spells here. If we keep on with the caster, I don't think, yeah, you're going to keep the caster. Or you could do a giant rat ogre with Twin Fist Flamer, 2 attacks, blast of 6, reliable with furious. And if you do that, you lose Scout, Spell Conduit, and Strider. But you keep all of the melee attacks. Put you at 650. 650 for this. And with this, the idea I'm having is turn 1, you give it the magic skitter step. You put both points into that so it goes off on a 3. Is it a guarantee? No, but it's magic. Nothing is guaranteed. So you're going to be able to move 10 inches and still shoot your Twin Fist Flamers. And then, God help anything that charges you. Next turn, you can use those 2 points to put Melee Slayer on yourself to be AP 3 and AP 4. Going after tougher targets, of course. This is a pretty good Titan. This is a pretty good Titan indeed. Yeah, that turn 2, if you put on the Melee Slayer, plus you have Furious, and you're hitting on a 3, yeah, this is dirty. I like it. I like it a lot. The next, coming in at just too many points, just over too many points to play in 2,000 points. The God Titan, 720 points, quality 2, defense 2, caster 4, fear 3, fearless, scurry, strider, toughness 18. Okay, we have a heavy strike, 12 attacks with rending, and stomp, 6 attacks with AP2. Okay, we got all of our spells, and it has no upgrades. Okay. Now I can do the same thing that I said with the other Titan. You can give itself Magic Skitter Step. Well, you can probably pull off. You can almost pull off both of these in one turn. Again, it's not guaranteed. The Scurry Boost to make it charge 16 inches. And then the Godmother's Frenzy to give it 12 attacks at AP2 with rending and 6 attacks at AP4. Yeah, if the caster went off, if, you have other casters around to maybe help it out the guarantee that's happening, then yeah, this thing is it's a beat stick. Quality 2, defense 2, toughness 18. This is, yeah, both of these Titans are pretty good in their own way. I like both of them. Huh, that's the first time that's happened where I like all the Titans. Okay, well, that's it. That's everything on the list. Let's get rid of this and then look at what I'm going to be putting on the table. So this is what we got coming to the board for the Ratmens that I put together. Let's see, we got 2 units of 10 warriors. These are the picket line. They're going to be out there trying to move around, grab objectives, and just stop people from rushing into the rest of the army. We got 3 weapon teams of 3 with the overtuned Gatling guns. I don't need to say anything else. We've got a champion joined to a unit of Grenadiers with an overturned pistol and the ambush aura, and 10 Grenadiers with overtuned bombs. We already talked about this. This is a nasty, nasty surprise. I'm probably going to lose some Grenadiers when I fire, but I don't care. I don't care. It's going to be 22 shots at 12 inches, AP4. I don't care. And then we got 10 monks. Why? Because I made the models. They look pretty cool. They have the sensor flail, so Furious with Bane. Exploding is on a 6. Again, these are going to be a little bit more offensive picket line that are going to be teamed up with the warriors. We have 1 unit of snipers that have the overtuned sniper rifles. Again, these are going to be for picking out enemy characters, and hopefully there's enough other craziness around them that these won't be, focused down, because I didn't give them the shields. Which, you know what? Let's go back. I think I have the points for it. Snipers. I have exactly the points for it. I think I planned on putting that in there. Now they have the shields. So then we have 3 units of 3 Storm Ogres with the overtuned Gatling Fists. So that's another 36 hazardous shots. So we got 36 here, 36 here, and then 22 here. So that's a whole lot. Oh wait, no, and then 3 more. That's a whole lot of hazardous shooting. I could blow my whole army up in 1 turn. We'll see. That's the cost of doing business. And then rounding it all out, we have the Great Death Roller. I gave him the heavy impact with the bladed wheels. It is just going to be a rock'em sock'em smash up derby, just going nuts. And that is 2,000 points of Fantasy Ratmen. Is it good? That's why we do these, to see if these work. This is definitely on the I shoot stuff theme. The only other way to make it any shootier would be to drop the warriors and the monks and put in artillery. You know what? We're watching me do this in real time right now. We are going to take the monks out, giving us 130 points to play with. Ratmen artillery. We are going to go for the overtuned cannons. We're going to duplicate that. We're back at 1980. I got 2 artillery on the board. These are going to be played by probably the Havoc Dwarves, because I don't have any Ratmen artillery. Well, I got Ratmen artillery. I got Ratmen catapults. So we'll just say that they are overtuned cannons for this game. Oh, this army is, like I said, it's either going to absolutely wreck face, or I'm going to explode myself in turn 1. We will see. So that's it for the Ratmen review for Age of Fantasy. If you all liked what you saw, you got a little vision into my maniacal, twisted brain when it comes to army making, why don't you subscribe? And then if you really liked it and you want to get the videos a little bit sooner than everybody else, consider becoming a member. You guys get videos as they are edited and done, and everyone else gets them on the schedule. And once again, thank you to our sponsor, PrintedStarships.com, where you get a discount of 15% if you use the code warbossfitz. So that'll do it for me tonight. I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.